Hello Capricorn, welcome to your July tarot reading with me, JJ, for those of you who are new. Thank you for joining me. And I do realize that I'm very, very late with your reading this month. So apologies for that. Let's try to go through it quickly then, shall we? I thought we'd skip by the unnecessary chatter that I usually add. It really just depends on my mood as well. So wondering what's in the cards for you guys, Capricorn. I really feel that Capricorn's just been complaining a lot the last few weeks, months even. But here's the thing, it's like complaining and not doing anything to remedy the situation, so you just keep adding more frustration onto your own existing load of burdens, and you're not really doing much to prevent it from happening. Because here's the thing, Capricorn, communication is key. If you don't communicate what it is that's bothering you, then how are other people supposed to know? How are they supposed to react? You could be a little bit annoyed as to how someone's been behaving around you or the way that someone's been doing things in your presence, but you keep it to yourself, so they just continue doing whatever it is that they're doing, that they're used to doing, because they're probably just being themselves. And then one day, if someone happens to bring it up, like this inconvenience, and you're around, then you will actually, like, you'll say something only then and there, where you're going to be like, yeah, well, you always do this, or I don't know, you're always so loud, or you're very inconsiderate of other people, and all of that. And then this person is just like looking at you like, what the hell? How was I supposed to know this if you've been silent this whole time? I'm just being myself. I need feedback. I need critical feedback from people. Otherwise, you can't blame me then for being an annoyance. This is like the other party telling you, Capricorn, that you just haven't been very clear with your communication. And the worst part is that you are so bothered by this. You can be genuinely irritated by what's happening, but at the same time, you know you have absolutely no right, to say anything, because it's too late now. That's the point. You can't go back in time and tell this person, oh, like a month ago you did this or said this, and that kept going, but you never intervened, Capricorn. You never intervened. So maybe now in July you're starting to realize that certain things surrounding your communication needs to change. Not with everyone, but just with certain people that you've been facing problems with. I can understand to some degree that it's not always in your best interest or in the other person's best interest to address all issues, because some issues can be really minor and therefore also inconsiderate. But if these minor issues are persistent, then this persistence lets things get so inflated that they turn into a major issue. It's better to just tackle something when it's still really tiny than when it grows and becomes really unmanageable then. So I've said all of that, and I haven't even looked at your cards, but because that's kind of like the feeling that I was getting when I came to this reading anyway. Just that Capricorn's also just been trying to avoid being put in a situation that's going to make them feel uncomfortable. So therefore Capricorn is also avoiding people that make them uncomfortable, which can be a bit of a problem if you happen to live with these people, work with these people, and have to collaborate generally on a day-to-day basis, or even if it's a few times a week. You still have to put up with each other, right? So how long is this avoidance going to keep up for, and how long do you think you can get away with it? Probably not that long, Capricorn. Yeah, so I kind of see this illustrated to some degree in the cards here, what I'm talking about. This is the person's reaction to your dissatisfaction. So when you come to this person a bit too late down the line and you start to blame them for being so irritating or whatever it is, right? Then this person, I'm sorry, excuse my French, but gives you the middle finger, quite literally. Like, that's how I feel. This sword is basically, I feel like this sword is basically giving you the middle finger. Like, I'm sorry, but you don't have a right to actually say anything about this now because you had so many chances. Like, you're telling me that I've done something wrong after I've done it 10 times wrong? Like, who the hell are you then to have an issue with my behavior? Next time, be clear, and come to me first, and come to me when it's actually happening, not several weeks down the line when I can't help you now, because it's just ingrained in my routine, and I'm used to doing things this way. You should have come to me when I was still learning or still adapting. But now that I'm fully integrated, or whatever the situation is, you can't expect me to change because, sorry, I've gotten used to the way things are. Okay? So, this is you in your bubble, in your world, the way that you imagine it to be perfect and ideal. If you had full control of every single corner and the assets and resources that are waiting for you in every corner, and this is like mental calmness, psychological preparedness, physical health and strength and capabilities. Your health can be top notch. So this is you in your world, and you're carrying your magic wands, and you in your mind, in your world, you are able to fling these, to kind of like wave your magic wands around and things just miraculously happen. Excuse me. Problems get solved when you wave around your magic wand in your little bubble of yours. But that's not how the real world operates, is kind of what this Queen of Swords is trying to say. So this Queen of Swords comes off as a rather very bitchy character. That's kind of trying to shut you up because you are off on a tangent and a rant every now and then that can be relating to other people and how they've been frustrating you, but you just haven't realized, Capricorn, that sometimes you do the exact same to others. So you can be quite irritating. You can be quite frustrating to others as well. They stay quiet about it, or they actually no. If they're an air sign like this person, they are not quiet about these things. In fact, they will come up to you the moment it becomes a nuisance to them. They won't wait as long as you wait, basically. They'll come and they'll call you out for it. They're going to be like, excuse me, but that's annoying. Can you stop, please? And they'll come to you in a very friendly way as well. So maybe the way that I just put things sounded a bit harsh, but this person might really just take you aside and be like, listen, I want you to know that I get a little bit annoyed when you do this or that. And I was just wondering if you could, I don't know, reword things next time, or can you keep it down, or whatever it is, right? But because they don't give you a lot of time in the world, they might not even know you very well, you take offense. Like, you're just not cool with it. Why is this person complaining about me? Ooh, they don't even know me. But this person's being sincere and genuine is what you don't get it. Like, there is actually no need for you to feel offended, because they would do this to everyone else as well, not just you. If it was your next door neighbor that was being irritable, they will probably address the next door neighbor in exactly the same way. So it doesn't really matter how much depth the relationship is between you and this other person. They have a right to speak their mind, and you don't have a right to kind of tell them when they get to do this. So when you approach this very same person, let's say several weeks down the line, because they've been doing something that's been pissing you off for several weeks now, adding on top of your anger the fact that they've called you out on something that bothers them, you like go crazy, or they go crazy on you. So you come to address this problem that you have to this person who did the exact same thing but weeks earlier on, and you are shocked when they have an issue with you now, because they're going to be like, A, you should have come to me earlier, like I came to you. B, you're comparing my attitude to your attitude now. I had every right to call you out on something many weeks ago. Why did I have a right to do this? This is what this person is questioning. Because I addressed it in the moment, so you knew exactly what I was talking about. I didn't wait for another time when you completely forgot, or now we've lost the context of the situation, so it's difficult for me to reword things, or be like, it turns into a he said, she said situation where it's Chinese whispers and no one's really even sure of what actually happened, because memory starts to degrade the more time passes by. This is a fact. This is why eyewitness testimonies are unreliable in a court of law. This is why it's not enough for you to bring eyewitnesses basically come and give a statement several months after an event has occurred, because their memory will be distorted. They may be fully convinced, 100% sure, that what is actually occurring in their minds is what's the event that actually took place, because that is how our brain works. Essentially, our brain is just very good at tricking us. So it's a similar situation, Capricorn. Like, people irritating each other, pointing fingers and blaming each other, except one is handling the situation a bit more tactfully than the other. So you are clashing with people in this manner, and finding that not everyone sees your points, because you are trying to raise a point that multiple other people have tried to raise with you in the past, and when you didn't take it seriously and you expected them to take it seriously, now that it's being reversed and flipped on you, you're like, oh shit. Like, I guess I'm just gonna have to put up with this on my own. Like, you find yourself having to fight this battle on your own. In fact, certain people that usually may agree with you don't agree with you anymore, because you have an issue with something that shouldn't even be an issue. I do understand if, a couple of weeks, especially the last week or so, has been a bit emotionally demanding, because there is a moon in Cancer, and it's Cancer period still. Like, we still haven't entered really Leo season, but we will. July is mostly Leo season. But with Cancer having come before, that can really rile you up and really have you feeling a bit more sensitive, which is why now you're just bursting. You're like, I can't keep all these feelings inside of me anymore. It's like this Hermit card saying, I just can't be inwards any longer, and I need to get it out. But you are starting to realize that all of these thoughts that you've been having and you've been keeping to yourself for a while now are effectively not going anywhere. And you find yourself having to start from scratch. So when you try to bring up old cases, if those cases had any strength, they were formidable at some point, they aren't anymore. So you kind of sound silly sometimes now, talking about things that occurred several months ago. Because in your mind it sounds good, it's fine, like you've rehearsed it. But saying it out loud, other people just don't seem to really understand where all this fiery passion is coming from. You're addressing the situation with so much emotion and conviction, and everyone's just like, yeah, but like, why is this a big deal? It was a big deal back then. It's not a big deal now. You should have said something. Now you're realizing to be quicker. This is an opportunity for you to actually fix things. Let me just say, Capricorn. It's an opportunity for you to reconnect with someone that you had maybe been drifting apart from in the past. So you will find that someone from your past comes back into the picture. They make an effort, like they actually make a real effort to understand you and be your friend or be your partner or lover or whatever it is. If this relationship failed once in the past, there is a chance for it to be relaunched now in July, which is really beautiful. There is a lot of good energy going around for that. That's these two cards next to each other. An opportunity to revisit a relationship or a friendship that you've had in the past, which may have not gone so well, but now that you've both grown and you've both matured and everything is all dandy, feelings come rushing in very, very quickly, which is really nice. And it's like establishing a connection as though you're picking things up where you left off. So it could have been like almost like yesterday that you may have felt like you last saw this person. So I want to let you know that if this reading started off a bit harsh and it felt like I was, blaming you for certain things, there's always going to be like 50-50 in a month. Certain things we don't do right and certain things we do brilliantly. As such, you do end this month on the note of justice and Libra, and Jupiter in Libra's awesomeness, really just righting all the wrong. Things will be in balance at the end of the day. There are going to be days where you face criticism, and there will be other days where you are the one who's doing the criticizing. Realize that no one has more right than the other. It's just the timing. Timing might be off. So that's when people start to have a problem with things. Don't get all defensive if certain friends, okay, who don't have your back in this situation are siding with others just simply on that basis, the basis of time. Like, no one is saying that you can't have an issue. What people are saying is that if you have an issue, address it immediately. Maybe not so immediately, but after you cool down, take a couple of days. But then address it. Take this person or group of people aside and be like, listen, I don't like A, B, C. What you did 2 days ago was not cool. Then at least they'll still have an idea of what you're talking about. You can't do that when too much time has elapsed. Which is why if these people side with another person, like this Queen of Swords, who doesn't let that time elapse, they know exactly what she's talking about. Because they're like, yeah, we were there. We heard you say this. And we also agree it was inappropriate. But how do you expect your friends to do the same for you and back you up if they can't even remember what it is that you're referring to several months back? Or if you're still complaining about the same issue, but you're not addressing it, then it's also another situation where your friends are like, this is getting old, can we move on? So Capricorn sometimes can hold on to grudges and hold on to things and let things fester because you're so grounded anyway. So the moment something leeches onto you, then it's pretty difficult for this to rub off. If anything, it gains potency. So you tend to attract things your way because you are such a grounded sign. Which means all sorts of things, like you're really, really good at attracting money in your direction, attracting power and responsibility, and people trust you and know that you get the job done. It's amazing. But it also means that people know that they can pile all sorts of crap onto you. Like, it's okay, he or she can handle it, because they're strong, they can get through it all. They're not going to take what we say to heart, because they never complain. I get it. I really get it. Sorry. That can be, it can be annoying, because then you're like, what about me? Like, I'm always looking out for people. I've got people's backs. Why won't people have my back? Why do people always forget about little old Capricorn and all the hard work Capricorn does? No one forgets Capricorn. But people take you for granted sometimes, and I'm really sorry for that. It's your time to step up and be a bit more courageous with how you approach people. Be a bit more confrontational. Confrontation is good sometimes. It's healthy. Helps you release all that baggage. Okay, cool. Capricorn. So we'll stop there. I hope that you enjoyed this reading and you found it beneficial. I also hope that you didn't find it too harsh. Really sorry. If you did, please don't take it personally. Capricorn. And I'll talk to you guys next month. Bye.